Alrighty, OKTA. We're still having issues with OKTA. Most of you are using it pretty well, and some of us aren't using it at all. So a large percentage of you have got this right, and there's a smaller percentage sort of holding us back. We can't be using the phone to log on anymore. The only reason to be using the phone to log on is if you're a contractor just coming in for a short period of time, or if you've been kicked out through technical issues. If you have been kicked out through technical issues, I expect that you've called me and told me all about it, and I'm then rectifying it. You can then log on by phone. If you're able to use the logon app, let's have a look at how we avoid choosing a whole bunch of feeders. So if you choose a large area, you could well cover a bunch of feeders, which creates a headache for Central Energy when they're trying to close outages. They don't want us to choose large logon areas. If you're in an urban environment, as you can see, this is Wagga, it's very easy to cover a whole bunch of feeders. I'll show you an example. So if I go to create a log, I'll zoom in, create a log. Hopefully when I get down to a pile, here we go, create log. I'll choose my circle, and then I will create my log. I'll make it a relatively large one for an example. So let's choose my client type, my crew type, sorry, save logon. So you'll see on the map my log, which you can't see, of course. We'll refresh the page. Bear with me, good old OKTA. All right. Making everyone seasick. Okay, here's my log here, right? I'll go in here, see my log. It didn't look too bad. Like, it's not a massive area, yeah? But if we go into it, you go down here, tick on this one here, which is something I only learned about the other day. It'll tell you how many feeders you're covering. And that log there is actually covering 12 feeders. I had one this morning that wasn't much bigger than this in Wagga that was covering 32 feeders. We can't be covering that many feeders, guys. So when you go to log on, you select an area. I want you to have a look at this feeders toggle and actually see how many feeders you're covering. If you're covering a multitude of feeders, you've got to cancel your log. So log off all. You got to go back in and have a look. So let's refresh my page. What I'd like you to do if you're in an urban environment is just, and you are within range, which you will be if you're in an urban environment. So I'll go back over to Wagga, scrolling in, we'll go down to Coringal. Okay, and so I want to work all along Grove Street. Okay, this is Grove Street here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create my log. I'm going to choose a polygon. If you're with a polygon, you press the button once, and then you go down, you press the button again, press the button again, press the button again, and press the button again to close the circle, close the square, and there's my log. So I'll choose the climb type, and I'll scroll down. How many feeders am I covering this time? 1. Brilliant. And I'm working all the way along. I actually chose Cochrane Street. So I'm working all the way along Cochrane Street. That, in an urban environment, will cover me for a considerable amount of time. As I work my way down that street, once I leave this log, I log off and I log on again. Okay? Log off all, and then off we go again. That's the expectation, guys. Make sure you're not covering a multitude of feeders. Okay? By selecting a circle and just pulling it out, there's a good chance you're covering a whole bunch of feeders. So make sure that we're not covering heaps of feeders. Obviously, when you go out of range, so let's do an example here. We'll go out into my area of the world. You can probably choose a fairly significant sized map or part of the map out here because you're out of range. Let's see what this does. Feeders, yeah. Save the log, crew type, save the log, spool out, refresh the page, and you can see I've chosen quite a large area, but because it's out of range on one line, I've only picked up one feeder. Okay, so if you're near an urban environment, don't choose a significant sized area, but if you're out of range, you can.